Hi, it's Rob from the Bobsphere, and this is my November wrap up. It's been a solid month. Some really good reads and some okay reads. So let's start. Oh, yeah, the DNFs. Always the DNFs. Okay, so three books were DNF'd. I don't have them here with me. Grasshopper Jungle, I don't like YA. Carte Postale from Greece by Victoria Hislop. I don't like her. I read The Island earlier this year. Doesn't impress me either. The Terranauts by T.C. Boyle, an author who I do like, but this book just didn't gel with me. Good. Out of the way. Now let's start with the ones I read. So, Banana Yoshimoto, Kitchen, translated by Megan Bacchus. Okay, this is the third time I've read this. I read it once in 2002, second time in 2010, and third time in 2020. I didn't like it the first time around. Second time I loved it. This time I thought it was very good. Very good. Two novellas. They're interconnected by transvestites and transsexuals as well. In the first chapter, first novella. Food, kitchens, death, and love. The thing is, sorry, it's there's something calming about it. There's something very humble and honest about the writing. It's very down to earth. Next, The Boiled In Between by Helen Martins. Helen Martins is an artist, and you can feel that in the style. Definitely, there are moments that are pure, almost poetry. They're very visual. So The Boiled In Between is about a couple. They marry. They start a family and then they die. But obviously, it's not as simple as that. It's told in these bite-sized chunks, and there's a narrator, not a narrator, there's a choir kind of, and they give you behind the scenes because the actual narrator isn't that reliable. So it's a very interesting book. It's experimental. It's unique. If you want something different, I do recommend this. Cat Step by Alison Irvine. I really like this. Very, very, very good. What's it about? It's about a woman who leaves her child in her car because the child is sick. She's 4 years old. And someone breaks into it. No, nothing happens. No. No one gets hurt. The window's smashed, and that's it. But this leads off a chain of events and sets off some questions for the reader, like why is this woman in this town? Why is she looking after someone else's house? Why does she mention her husband a lot, but he's never there? Oh, yeah. It's a little bit of a thriller, a bit beyond. A Ghost in the Throat. I'm not going to pronounce the author's name. You can see that. I was told how to pronounce it, but I forgot completely, so I'm very sorry. Anyway, so two narratives. One takes place in 1700, where a woman sees her husband being murdered. She drinks his blood and composes a poem. Jump to latter day. A woman as well is suffering. She discovers this poem, or rediscovers it because she studied it as a child, and she dedicates her whole life to studying it and seeing the parallels between the poem, the character in the poem, and her. And you've got a book about motherhood, about social class, and about feminism. Very, very, very good. Tramp Press can do no wrong. The Wayfinders. So it was my birthday on the 13th, and my partner always gives me a non-fiction book. Well, most of the time she does. To get me out of my comfort zone, because I do tend to read a lot of fiction. Anyway, The Wayfinders by Wade Davis. Now, I am an anthropology student, so this was sort of in my comfort zone. It's about how certain tribes can influence today's society in any aspect, from medicine to geography, to sailing even. And it's really good. It gave me a lot of memories. I really enjoyed this. And it was a nice surprise. Horizontal Rain. I finished this yesterday by U.H. Dematagoda. This is a very masculine book. The main protagonist, it opens with the main protagonist's girlfriend leaving him, and his slovenly best friend moving in. This main protagonist only has two jobs, and they're both low paying, even though he's a very qualified person. Then one day, a woman walks in his life, not in the manic pixie girl way, and he starts seeing things differently, and he's torn between two worlds. Should he, and even his attitude, I mean, he becomes sensitive. He always is sensitive, but his slovenly best friend kind of banishes it out of him. So, which world should he go to? And yeah, it's interesting. Interesting. Another one by Tramp Press. This is the first book they published. I also read the last book they published. This is Flight by Una Frawley. Now, Frawley is sort of means strawberry in Maltese, but anyway, so I kind of giggle when I hear that surname. But anyway, so it's about a woman from Zimbabwe who moves to Ireland of all places, and she, I wouldn't say nanny. She becomes a caretaker. Now, the two people she's taking care of are expats. So this is a book about culture clash. It's very clever, and it's well done. Next, The Saviour of Sixth Street by Orlando Ortega Medina. And incidentally, Medina is a city we have in Malta. It used to be the old capital. Now it's called Imdina. Anyway, some Maltese connections there. This is about the LA art scene in the 80s. It's about an artist whose paintings then are all bought by a dealer. He's very interested in her. They have a platonic relationship. Then he finds out that her dad is a criminal overlord, and he puts himself in some risky situations. Yeah, it's a page turner. I liked his first novel, The Death of Baseball. This is more. That was a big thick one. It was a bit flabby in places. This is more concise. It works. Jacqueline Woodson, Red at the Bone. This is one lots of people have been talking about, and I can see why. It is a very good book. It's about an Afro-American who is walking down the steps and entering a room for her coming of age ceremony. And then you get the thoughts of each of the people in the room and contemplating how she got to where she is today. So it's about suffering and how you can put yourself in pain so that the other generation can live comfortably. The Color of Air by Gail Tsukiyama. This is kind of a prodigal son story with a twist, I guess. So this takes place in Hawaii during 1935, and a boy returns, or a man now, returns after studying to be a doctor, and he has lots of secrets, and he's ready to uncover them. That's all. He's on a mission. It's good. Yeah, it's really well written too. Now, David Mitchell. I am a fan of David Mitchell. I've read all his books. I don't like everything though. I like his surreal ones like Bone Clocks and Cloud Atlas and Slate House, but the more straight edge ones, I guess, if that's a proper term, let's say like Number 9 Dream, which I don't like at all. Black Swan Green, I don't mind. Thousand Autumns of Jacob de Zoet, I don't like at all. So, and where does this fall in? Both worlds. It's a straight narrative. It's about a rock band, a psychedelic rock band. But it's very it's uncliched. So, at least it's not like, let's say, Daisy Jones at the Six, who plays it straight. This doesn't at all. At all. So it plays it straight in that way, but then there are also many surreal moments, and it could work as a companion piece to the Bone Clocks. Now, those bits I liked, but I didn't like the bits about the band. I mean, okay, there are cool references. You know, I was a music critic, so I got what he was talking about. And I enjoyed that. But still, there are some very dull chapters in here, but there's some amazing ones as well. It has his best and his worst writing. So, it's middle of me, for me. Do I recommend it? For David Mitchell fans? Absolutely. And everyone knows, well, all the fans know that he likes to connect his other books in his latest novels. This does it to an extreme. I love that. I'll tell you, I won't go into that. If this is your first one, no, don't make it your first one. No, not at all. You'll just be confused and irritated. Okay, that's my take anyways. And here's the Happy Reader. It's a magazine I subscribe to. It was supposed to be actually a year subscription or 2 years, but there's been delays and sometimes one issue comes out a year, so it's been really sporadic. And they give us a free issue, so I don't know. I'll just wait until the subscription runs out, and I'll renew it, definitely. This is probably the best one yet. Oh yeah, this Jessica Parker. Yeah, she reads a lot. That sounded really nasty. No, it's just it's good. It's good. I was very surprised actually that her husband Matthew Broderick likes to read. So you learn something new. She has some really good taste in books, and I know she has a publishing imprint. But I read one book and I didn't like that. But anyway, that's another story. And then the other half is about Lafcadio Hearn, who compiled an anthology of ghost stories from Japan. That's really interesting. So yeah, it's a winner all around. And my star pick, my read of November, is Luster by Raven Leilani. I absolutely love this book. It is brilliant. This is a Bob book. It's got a quirky narrator. It's funny. It's a bit gross. It's about an Afro American who enters a relationship with another man, and she finds out something about him, which, well, I guess I can say it's he has an adopted child who's an Afro American as well, and yet she has an affair with this guy, and she lives in the same house with him and his wife. So it's a very interesting love triangle. But like I said, oh, it's brilliant. The prose just sparkles. I can't recommend this highly enough. It is a fantastic must read. Yes, 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 yes. Read this book. Now, what's next? Well, I've got a review copy. It's a digital one because the physical one did not arrive. It was dispatched in September. Thank you, Malta Post. But it's not their fault. You know the situation at the moment. So I've got that. That's a digital copy. So maybe actually on the blog post there could be two new books. And I'm reading Confessions with Horses, with Blue Horses. Yeah, I'm liking it. It's very good. It's very good. It's a quick read, so I'll probably finish it by tomorrow morning, this evening if I have some time. Yeah, I didn't get it from a book depository actually. I got it from a bookstore in Gotham. No, in Stockholm. When I was in Stockholm, this was my last day. Happened during the COVID, the COVID explosion, the first wave. Anyway, that's another story. I'm enjoying this. It's good. But we'll leave that for the blog post, probably. So, did you read these books? Do you have opposing opinions? Go ahead and tell me. Oh, I forgot. I always forget. I have my concluding sentence and something else crops in my mind. This is why I should edit, but I'm too lazy to do it. I will not be reading. I have a very strict TBR. But for December, I go all loose. Yeah, I go wild. I just pull anything off. It's very random reading. Because usually I get books for Christmas as well. Usually. So maybe 4 or 5. So I try read very tiny ones, so then I can dedicate the next few weeks of the month to reading those. So it's a lot of thin books for December. And then January usually is a mess, and then you see what happens. But you never know. The future is always uncertain. Anyway, did you read these books? Did you like them? Comment below. Please subscribe. Thanks a lot. See you next week, hopefully.